What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with an update of Terrence. So he revealed in his latest IG story that he is now eating 7 meals a day. And I have to say Terrence doesn't look as lean as some of the other top guys who are competing at this year's Miss Olympia in classic physique, as we are now 8 weeks out of this year's big show. Which really makes you wonder, is Terrence really doing this year's Miss Olympia, or is he skipping this one? Now we do know that his training was being hindered by some kind of problem that he had in his arms. But right now his arms are looking really massive, which is a positive sign that he's back to training them at max capacity. So this is the year in classic physique where it will be determined whether this division will become a tall guy division at a high level, like the Olympia or the Arnold. Because as of right now, Terrence is a legitimate top 5 Olympian, and he proved that last year as well by bringing his very best, and he climbed up one spot. Now we have Chris Bumstead, Ramondino, Wesley and Oscar Shinsky. And two of these guys, they are above 6 feet tall, while Ors and Ramon, they are just a little below 6 feet. So that makes Breon and Terrence the odd man out. Now if we strictly speak about the physique, then Terrence is as muscular as any of the other guy in this division. He's one of the best posers in classic physique, and he has all the qualities to be considered really classic. And we have to keep in mind, he is the only guy in that first call-out who has some major room to get bigger to grow before he maxes out. So, excited to see what the future holds for Terrence. Hopefully he will do this year's Mr. Olympia, because this is gonna be one of the most competitive Mr. Olympia ever. Next up we have the update of the 212 reigning champion, Keone. Absolutely mind-blowing at 8 weeks out. And the fact that he competed last year at around 199 pounds, that makes this even more shocking, that Keone had another 13 pounds before he maxes out for the 212 class. So with this entire season focused on just getting bigger, just for the off-season, he will surely be a few pounds heavier. And the way his waist has stayed exactly the same. I mean, even at the peak point of his off-season, his waist was still looking tapered down. So I believe his proportions this year, they are gonna be off the charts. So Keone has one of the best front double biceps in the entire pro league right now. And with a bigger, more rounder, and more separated quads, he is gonna be absolutely untouchable from the front. So if you guys have followed Keone's journey throughout this year, you must know there was a total shift in his mindset. He was logged in every single day. He basically combined those God-given genetics with a lot of hard work. And we all know what happens when talent meets hard work. So I'm not gonna lie, the video that him and Sean Guerrero did a few weeks ago for the Battle of the Olympia, Sean was looking unbelievably good. And he was looking very cartoonish. But that show is gonna be judged in 8 weeks time. And it is gonna be judged based on those 8 mandatories. And I'm afraid Keone is just unbeatable in the front double biceps, the front lat spread, the back lat spread, the abs and thigh. And these are the shots which he was able to win very convincingly. And even the side shots, he was able to win them by a little margin. And yes, I know Sean had that bloated stomach, and he is extremely focused. He's training like his life depends on it. But even then, I have to say it is gonna be extremely hard to dethrone Keone. Most of us have been following Wesley for more than 5 years now. So he had kind of a rough start to his Olympia journey, as he wasn't even placing top 10 up until 2020. So he is one of those guys who was coaching himself, especially during the beginning of his professional career. And as soon as he got together with Stefan, he took his physique and his conditioning to a whole different level. So one thing that did not change about Wesley, even after winning this year's Arnold, actually both of them, the Ohio and the UK one, is his full transparency. He is 8 weeks out of the most important bodybuilding show of his career, and is still posting progress pictures almost daily. So Wesley just posted a back double bicep and the most muscular. So at this point in time, Wesley is looking the most ready out of the potential top 3 at this year's Miss Olympia, which are gonna be Chris Bumstead, Ramondino, and obviously Wesley himself. So with the improvements that Wesley has made, especially in this offseason, which started after this year's Arnold, I think he is gonna be extremely competitive. So on a day of the show, anything can happen. One thing can go wrong, and you can totally mess up your peak. But the thing is, if Wesley also comes in at his all-time best, versus Ors and Breon at their all-time best, the chances of those two guys beating Wesley they are almost zero at this point, because Wesley is just way too big and way too muscular for both of these guys. So I think there is a mutual consensus on this fact. Wesley has single-handedly made this year's Miss Olympia so much more exciting than last year. Another one from the Persian wolf Hadi. I guess this one is taken after he did that impressive deadlift just a couple of days ago. So this right here, this is exactly why so many people out there that consider Hadi the favorite to win this year's Miss Olympia title. Because that is 8 weeks out, and the guy is already skinless. And he isn't a classic physique guy, he is a men's open competitor. So I 100% believe nobody can touch Hadi in the conditioning aspect, especially from the front. So just imagine, if Hadi is as hard and as conditioned from the back as he is from the front, I think we can all agree it will be one of the greatest physiques to ever walk on any bodybuilding stage. But the thing is, the chances of that happening, they are kinda slim. But I think we can all agree if there is anyone who can do that, that is Hadi. Because he was able to kill this narrative too at this year's Arnold Classic, and his waist is getting wider every year. And we have this belief that once your waist starts to get wider, it's almost impossible to go back to a more tapered down and a streamlined waist. But Hadi showed us all how it is done. So for Hadi to win this year's Miss Olympia title back, he has to bring the greatest conditioning of his life. He needs to bring the greatest physique of his life, just the way Jay showed up in 2009 and absolutely demolished that whole competition. So I have to say these are very exciting times in the sport of bodybuilding, because all the potential top 6 men's open guys this year, they 100% believe in their minds and in their hearts that they can become Miss Olympia, and that too this year. Just imagine if it was Phil Heath or Ronnie Coleman, especially in their primes. Even the competitors knew that they only have a chance if these guys miss their mark, if they make a mistake. Lastly, we have the physique update of Muhammad Foda. So that front large spread on this guy, that is way too good. He has so much mass, combine that with great statics and such a small waistline. That makes it such a wonderful shot. So I have no idea why Foda took such a long time to jump into a show this year, because he was ready for weeks and weeks. He had a very clear victory at this year's Chicago Pro. And if he was in the same condition as John De Rosa at this year's Tampa, if he was a bit more tighter, he would have won that show as well. So Foda has plenty of size from the front, as well as from the side. But there is very little time to make some significant improvements in the back, which is of course his weakest area, because the Olympia is now just only 8 weeks away. So all Foda needs to do is to show up in a better condition than what he had at this year's Chicago Pro. And also he needs to practice a lot of posing as well. So he has an 8-pack, but his control over his midsection, that wasn't that impressive, especially in these side shots. So the switch that he made from Hani Wemba to Stefan, that really worked well for him. And also he was able to fill some gaps that he had last year in his physique. So I think Foda is gonna be extremely competitive against most of the guys, especially in the first 3 mandatories. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.